I'm pretty jobless in my house, so I love going on social media and getting people really angry for absolutely no reason. And recently I've discovered that on TikTok there is a alive and well piano audience ready to be angry. I'll tell you what people were getting really angry about. I was rage baiting them on their use of the falling key method. 142,000 views, 9,000 likes, 500 comments, and 600 saves for my blank stare. Caution said, "What is the falling keys method?" The falling key method refers to a visual learning style where virtual bars or blocks fall down the screen, indicating which keys to press in real time, similar to Guitar Hero or synesthesia, allowing users to mimic notes visually, though it's often criticized for promoting mimicry over understanding musical theory and structure. The pro would obviously be exposing thousands and thousands of YouTube audiences a shortcut to easily play your favorite pieces and, maybe show off to your grandma at your next party. The con is you might not be able to show your grandma Liebestraum number 3. Unless you're one of these commenters who said that they learned it. It might take you forever though, and she might die. But there are 3 main cons to this falling key method. Number 1, it's a shortcut and unsustainable. There is no possible way you can ever learn so many pieces of music if it takes you 1,000 hours to learn one piece. I mean, if it's Mary Had a Little Lamb and you're just learning it via the falling key methods, it's not going to take you too long. But once the pieces progressively get a little bit more difficult, you're going to be spending hours watching falling keys, and your eyes are going to be glazed like a glazed donut. And you might be fat, because you'll be sitting for a long time. Number 2, it doesn't teach you the other half of the coin. There's always 2 sides of the coin, people. And the other side of the coin is not just pressing the keys, right? There's technique, there's fingering. For example, I saw one of my students try this falling key tutorial. I could not believe the fingering she was using for Elise, but she wouldn't know that because there is no fingering pattern on a falling key method tutorial. A visual reference doesn't show you how loud to get in certain places, how to properly slow down. It doesn't show you how to be expressive. It doesn't show you a lot of things other than pressing the keys. Maybe you could be pressing the keys, but your hand is maybe you're pressing it in a weird way. Maybe you're pressing it kind of like this. That would be wrong. And lastly, number 3, it's difficult rote memorization. The other day, a student really wanted to play Christmas music, but he didn't have a Christmas book, and so I had to rely on rote memorization because he really wanted to learn a Christmas piece. So I taught him Carol of the Bells, and now mind you, this is a piano student. And I said, "Do you think you're going to remember this whole piece?" And he said, "No, I don't think so." Now, I made it pretty easy for this student. I told him the patterns, like you have this 4 times, and then you have the A scale going down, and then you have A fifth, A sixth. I taught him the theory, and even still, he had trouble remembering it. I can't even imagine watching the falling key method relying on rote memorization, because if you are not paying attention to any of the patterns, you are going to forget really fast. If I were to watch synesthesia, I would say, oh, I can kind of see what patterns they're playing. Now, I can't even remember which pattern came 30 seconds ago. I have to flip through the video 30 seconds and then 20 oh my gosh. When it's right on the paper, I can say, oh, there's the A major chord right there, and there's E major, and all that. Let's read some of the comments of my viral video. Doc Rock said, "If a method can teach someone the joy of playing a tune they recognize, there is no wrong method. Music is expressive and people express themselves in a million ways." I don't disagree with this comment, but what I do disagree with is if someone says, "How can I self-learn piano correctly?" It would be a hindrance for me to show them the falling keys method. If you can read between the lines, what he's saying is, no, you shouldn't judge my method. My method is helping me be more expressive. My method is helping me understand the joy of learning music. I don't think so. This is not a sustainable path. It won't be joyful when you're spending 1,000 hours learning Liebestrom number 3. If you just want synesthesia to expose yourself to the joy of music, go ahead. But if you want to self-learn piano, you better do it the right way, okay? There is no way. I won't set you up for failure like that. Don't be silly. Tantalizer. I feel like the attachment to sheet music is rooted in elitism. Ah yes, the classic rage bait comment, 1400 likes. This rage bait comment comes from people not being able to afford piano lessons, and that is a very real circumstance. I know that there were thousands and thousands of dollars before I got to this point, including my piano, all the lessons that I've learned, my college education. I mean, how much money has been spent before I got to this point where I can easily read sheet music. But I would say if I were to learn for the first time by myself, like how would I do that? I would learn my notes. I would learn spaces of face, all cows eat grass, every good boy does fine, good boys do fine always. My mom hears me teach it all the time that she can quote it and she doesn't even play the piano. I'm sure it'd be so fast for her because she just knows these abbreviations. Once you know the abbreviations, you memorize the keys of the piano, you memorize how the rhythm tree works, you know, quarter, eighth notes, 16th notes, and figure out how the music is subdivided and, you know, some concepts like this. I know it sounds like a lot, but it's actually not a lot because most of the stuff is free on YouTube. When I was starting out, it was a lot harder because there wasn't so many videos on this before. But now, I mean, there's so much information out there on YouTube freely available. The only thing that I would say is not available on YouTube, for example, why do I not like online piano learning? I didn't like online lessons. I did that for a little bit. The reason I didn't like it is because there is something to be said about a teacher like right beside you, and they can hear what you're doing and they can slightly adjust you. Maybe like you're having your wrist in a weird way, or they can hear better. I remember the volume was always super bad on Zoom when we did online piano lessons. Oh, I hated that. During COVID, that was the worst. That instantaneous feedback is something that cannot be underestimated, and having a good quality teacher really does help. And so, is it elite to study music? I feel that the snobbish attitude is uncalled for. You could say the same thing about any other thing. If I'm taking tennis lessons to be a good tennis player, is that elite? Yeah, I guess so. Anything you do requires money, so at the same time I can't say that this is elite. It's just, what do you want in life? And for me, I wanted to play the piano better and not rely on falling key tutorials. And so I chose to invest my money in something I liked a little bit more than other people, and people might call that elite. Someone said, God forbid people want to learn a hobby in a comfortable way for them. 1,300 likes. It won't be comfortable in the long term. So what are you gonna do when you're not watching these falling key tutorials? You gotta watch something on YouTube. Well, what I would recommend is watch your favorite piece. And that's kind of weird, watch your favorite piece. Let's say you're trying to learn Clair de Lune by Debussy. Type the name Clair de Lune by Debussy into the YouTube search bar and find a video where it has the sheet music and then someone playing. But then they have like screenshots of the sheet music and it just continuously goes through the score, kind of like a scrolling score in a way. I found that by watching the score and listening at the same time of it being correctly played, lots of different pieces, my sight reading went up unusually. And I thought, how is this happening? And I think it was just because I was constantly looking at the score and just reading notes. Like I would say, oh, that's A, B, A, oh, that's a pattern, oh. And just by looking and hearing at the same time, it sinks in way deeper. Let me know down in the comments, what are your thoughts on the falling key tutorials? Do you agree with some of these commenters? Have you even heard of the falling key tutorial method? Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also don't forget to catch me rage baiting people on TikTok. See you guys.